Thank you. And thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to talk to you all. So my name is Kelly Stevens. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Public Administration here at UCF, which is in the College of Community Innovation and Education. And I'm also a member of the RISES Research Center and have a joint appointment with FSEC, or Florida Solar Energy Center. I'm going to talk a bit about my research today in energy policy and community resilience with a focus on a new NSF project to build a resilience hub with the city of Orlando. So a little about me. I have a Ph.D. in public administration from Syracuse University, but I actually started in meteorology. While I was studying meteorology, I worked for the state of Florida Department of Environmental Protection and Air Resource Management. I was a meteorologist doing air quality modeling. And during this experience, I got very inspired about policy making as we got involved with building a greenhouse gas cap and trade rule for the state of Florida. Which is how I landed in public administration. So I study energy policy. I focus primarily on the U.S. electricity sector, and I actually teach a new class called PAD 5887 in public administration on energy policy. And this is an interdisciplinary course usually offered in the spring semesters, and I think it would be a great fit for a lot of engineering students interested in energy. I am also interested in research topics on air quality and environmental policy, as well as clean energy innovation and equitable resilience. Some examples of projects that I'm working on right now that are grant funded and involve community engaged research include a U.S. Department of Energy RACER project under PI Chris Davis. He might have talked about this before. We're building a dashboard to combine different data sets on power outages, extreme weather, and social vulnerability to identify best places for solar plus storage in the community. I also worked on a project with Dr. Ph.D. and others, building a low-cost air quality sensor network for downtown Orlando, measuring particulate matter. And then the CIVIC project, which is the one I want to talk about today, building a resilience hub to focus on equitable resilience here in Orlando. A lot of my research connects energy policies with development in clean energy technology, but I also focus on community identified problems. And through this research, I've been able to work with a lot of different partners in local government, including the city of Orlando and Orange County, but also nonprofit agencies and advocacy groups focused in sustainability and energy and resilience. And so some of the partnerships I have are listed here. As a result of my work, I have been able to publish papers and get grants. But in addition to that, a lot of this work is starting to catch media attention. So I've done interviews with some national and local outlets on this work as focusing on community resilience and energy justice are growing concerns in the local community and nationally. So now I'll talk about CIVIC, which is a project I'm pretty excited about right now. I am the PI on this project. It is through the NSF CIVIC Innovation Program. It's a newer program. They have solicitations opening in May for another round. If anyone is interested, I'd be happy to talk to you about our experience. This is a two-stage project. We started with a planning grant back in 2022, and we are now in the full award. The full award is 1 year, about $1 million project to build a pilot resilience hub. A resilience hub, like pictured here, this is the design we developed in stage one, will deliver disaster-related services and education for hazard preparation here in Orlando. We've designed this resilience hub so that it can be used during what we're calling blue skies or non-emergency times, as well as gray skies when there's an imminent hazard or even after a hazard has been through the area. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that design in a moment, but I'll tell you a little bit about what we did to talk to the community to co-develop this design for a resilience hub. What makes this a bit novel is it's not just something that we sat down and came up with ourselves. We really talked to people and our local partners on this. And this hub is something that we are handing over to the city of Orlando to maintain and own after the conclusion of this grant. So the city of Orlando was heavily involved, but we also talked to people. We talked to stakeholders in the community. We started with a stakeholder meeting to get initial thoughts on what they think should go in a resilience hub, where it should go, how it should be, how we should decide where it should go. From that, we developed a survey for citizens that was administered in 2023 to get feedback from the community directly about their experiences with power outages and what services they need most in the event of an outage. And we focused on historically marginalized populations in Orlando. The education lead on my team, Dr. Trenton Marsh, also in CCIE, led several youth and adults working with youth listening sessions to develop the educational programming for hazard preparation. And we then had meetings with 2 core partners, and our core partners are Ebony Nutrition Consultants, as well as the Boys and Girls Club of Central Florida, Levy Hughes Clubhouse, which are both located in Paramore. These core partners are working closely with us and will host the hub on their site for demonstration test runs when it is built and completed this fall. So we were able to collect a lot of thoughts from everyone on what matters most to them to go into this resilience hub. With that feedback, we came up with these core principles to inform our design and our final design. And we worked closely with KMF architects to develop this design. Not only is this equitable, but it's also accessible. And so we've designed our hub so that the services are accessible from the outside of the hub, so that we don't have people traveling through it, much like you see with a tiny greenhouse, which was an inspiration for this project, located outside the Orlando Science Center. Our resilience hub will have a wall for device charging, display screens for information. It will be powered through clean solar energy with 4.8 kilowatts of solar panels on top of the structure, as well as on 2 awnings that will stretch out when deployed. You can also notice that our hub it fits in a parking space and is towable by a pickup truck. And that helps increase the amount of places that we can take it and the ease of portability. The city of Orlando has pickup trucks that they can move this around with, so they will be responsible for moving it. We also have this is supposed to show an inflatable tent with air conditioning, so people have a physical place to go and cool off while they're visiting the hub. And we've also included a lot of storage space so that we can bring different devices or different education materials based on changing needs for the hub. And so we've designed this to be modular, flexible, and include state-of-the-art technology so that it is economically and environmentally efficient or energy efficient. So that was a bit about the hub, and I'm happy to take any questions on that in a moment, but you can learn more about the hub and the design from our website, which I listed on the last page. We are working to build it now. We're working with fabrication company ModelWorks to complete the design and then to start building it hopefully in the next month or 2. Future work and collaborations. I really focus on equitable resilience as well. So if anyone has interest in resilience asset development similar to the hub or future developments, I like to study power outages now. And so I have purchased power outage data at the county level for Florida, but we're looking for more detailed zip code level data for any collaborations. We find that it's very hard to get publicly accessible power outage data, which is important for measuring and looking at disproportionate impacts of power outages on communities. Clean energy, I look a lot at policies and what impact policies can have on clean energy developments, but also how do policies differ? It's not enough to just say that a policy is on or off. It's important to also look at what are the details and how this policy is being implemented. Clean energy innovation, I've looked at patent data before to analyze or measure innovation and how policy impacts innovation, especially in clean energy technology. And air quality. I'm still interested in air quality and happy to talk to anyone else who's looking to do work in air quality as well. And, you know, I moved through that pretty quick, but I want to acknowledge my collaborators for the Civic Innovation Project. It's an interdisciplinary team. There's computer scientists, there's engineers, electrical engineering, and we also have senior personnel from the city of Orlando. The Director of Sustainability and Resilience, Michael Hess, is heavily involved in this project, as this will go to him at the conclusion of the project. And lots of students helping us with this as well. So thank you again, and I am done with my presentation.